Test, test, test. This is the Bartender's Anonymous Podcast. Inconsistently consistent. And nothing matters, so it's all good. Check, check. I'm gonna check these levels. Test, test, test. Alright, we're fucking going. It's been a minute. Welcome to the Bartender's Anonymous Podcast. I just tried to go back and listen to the last episode to see where my train of thought was in however long ago that was. But I fucking hate listening back to my podcasts. I don't know. There's like some of them are like all right, some of them are pretty bad. But just hearing your own voice and you're like, oh, this is a fucking idiot. Yeah. So what is it? January? It's January now, and I sobered up again. New Year's. I know I heard myself say something about New Year's that I wasn't going to fuck up, but I didn't go out, so I'll give myself that. But I got a 6-pack of these red IPAs that I like and a couple bottles of wine, and fucking gates were open. And I think I must have drank that whole fucking week. And it was just like one thing after another, and then I got sick. So my gut hurt on top of the drinking, the hangovers, the withdrawals, all that shit. So I was like fucking dying and not sleeping because just the drinking, and then you sleep like shit, and then you wake up, start drinking again to kill the hangover, and pardon me, just chaos. And yeah, so I had to fucking reel it in again. And this time, I don't know if it was an epiphany. It was just like I was just so bad, and my house was thrashed, and I just was a mess, and I was so unorganized, and my body was hating me, and I had to like call my sister and talk to her for a long time, and she kind of helped talk me down, chill out. I wasn't like suicidal or anything, but I just like fucking, just my gut hurt, and I was feeling like shit, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. But also, anxiety runs high when you're coming down off the alcohol, so being sick, hungover, anxiety attacks, all that shit, house is a mess. I was just like, man, what the fuck am I doing? And so obviously no podcast that week, because this anonymous bartender here is like just such a shit show. And so I thought it was all out of my system. I was wrong. And so I had to fucking do it again. I'm chill now. I'm all right. I'm like eating good. Back on the weed. Trying to just refilled my gummies. That was another thing, is I ran out of gummies, and there's no weed store in the town I live in because, I don't know, old school. They just go by federal law, and they're like, no stinky stoners in this town. It's like, well, everybody is. They just got to buy it from drug dealers and other towns. So they still get it, but it's a little bit harder, but they find a way. And so I'm restocked. I got my gummies. I got some 5 milligrams, got some 10 milligrams. The 5s are almost not enough, but then the 10 is too much, so I gotta find this like in between. But I'm working on it, trying to get my tolerance up. But then even with the weed, I'm like, because I was just like doing just weed for like a week straight, and I was like, man, I'm being lazy as fuck. And so yesterday, I like shook up some pre-workout, and I don't need a whole bunch of it, but I made a whole shaker full of pre-workout. I have like a little gummy or just a little bit of weed, and then a soda water with a splash of pre-workout in it, maybe some apple cider vinegar just to make a little concoction, because I'm a mixologist, you know, and that kind of gives me a little kick in the butt, because I have 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and I've been doing espresso, and that kind of gets stuff moving. But I think I've just drank so many energy drinks over the years, and like, because I used to be like a 2-a-day yellow Rockstar guy. I'd get 2 on the way to work and nicotine, and I'd have 1 can, start my shift, get me grooving. I'm alert, I'm ready to go. And then towards the end of the night, maybe I'd crack that second one, drink like half of it, and then save the other half for the next day. So I was like, that's like in my body is made of whatever's in those rock stars. So I've been off the energy drinks. I'll drink like a Red Bull once in a while, but It's just, I don't know. It's Red Bull kind of sucks. And then I do the sugar-free one, so there's not even any sugar in it. So I'm like, fuck it. Let's just, we got this pre-workout in the cupboard. Let's just shake that shit up. Just a little splash in my sody water, a little nicotine, and I'm like ready to go. Because I like, once I did that, I just like, I cleaned almost my whole house. I was like, man, I was so productive. I just needed a little, I need a little extra caffeine because my body's like, what are we doing? We're just smoking weed and watching House? Like, what are we? But then that kind of starts giving me anxiety because I'm like, if I'm stone cold sober, I'm watching House and I'm actually relaxed, totally chill. If I'm a little stoned and I'm watching House, I'm like, I have that. I have whatever they got. My chest is going to explode. Oh no. Drink soda water. Chill out. I don't know. And then I'll turn it off, play some video games or something. Um, my buddy I was playing with, he had just had a kid, and so he was on leave or whatever you call it, parental leave, for a couple months. So we were playing video games till like 4 in the morning, and then he had to go back to work. So I don't have my gaming buddy. We still play every once in a while, but he's like in bed by 11, and so I've been like trying to go to bed sooner, trying to be an early bird, and it's pretty fun being an early bird. Freaking getting up, having a cup of coffee, take a shit, get ready for the day, start just, even if you're not even really being productive, just being awake at like 7 in the morning is like, whoa. Like the other day, I went for a drive. This was yesterday. I went for a drive because I was testing out the roads because it's been just ice and snow and shit. And I got up early, freaking got my boots on, got a nice warm hoodie on. Pardon me. And I'm like, all right, we're sober. Let's go for a drive. Drove all the way out to the old place that I used to work. And I was going to get breakfast, but it was like closed down. So I kind of just, I just used their bathroom and got the fuck out of there. And yeah, it was weird. A little nostalgia. I saw like one guy that I knew, talked to him for a little while, and get a little nostalgia. All right, cool. Let's get the fuck out of here. But it was nice just getting up early, going for a drive. Because I'm like, I got to get out of this house, man. It's like, this house is pretty small already. And then just being kind of cooped up. And I can't drive my car yet because I got the stupid blower for another, like, 2 months. If that. Basically 2 months. Basically 2 more months. So I'm on the right track with that. Eventually, I'll be able to drive my car again. The truck's good. It's been solid, and it's been great in the snow. But, man, I miss my little turbo car going zoom zoom and just being comfortable. Because the truck, it's like, it shakes a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's got four-wheel drive, so I'll give it that. So 2 more months, but I'm starting to get freaking antsy. Like, just going on that little drive. And I was like, oh, it's so nice to just get out of this house and just go anywhere but this little town that I live in. Because this town there's nothing to do here but to drink and gamble and bowl and play pool. Which, that's another thing. I've gone bowling a couple times, and I'm like, dude, I could get into this. And if you're not drinking, surprisingly cheap. Because anytime I've gone to the bowling alley and I drink like 4 beers and bowl like, let's say 3 frames, I spend like $80. And so I've always been like, man, bowling's so expensive. It's not the bowling that's expensive, it's the drinking. So like, I bowled with a friend. We played 4 frames, and it was like $35. And I got like a Red Bull and a soda water. And I was like, dude, this is dope. I ate a little weed gummy, whatever. They got some tunes going, bowling, a little competition. I think my best score was like 112. Not great, but something to build on. So I think I'm going to bowl more, because that's something you can do regardless of the weather. And then, sorry, I'm a little snotty. What was I going to say? Oh, I played some golf, but the golf is hard for me to do without drinking beer. It's like I can grab like, 4 light beers, kind of get through, but then I can't drive. So I need to play a round of golf without beer and just maybe a little bit of weed. And I want to chill out with the nicotine, but it's fucking difficult when you're just like not drinking and then I got to go to work. And that's like I can kind of go no nicotine if I'm starting to wean off. So if I go one day with just a little bit, then the next day I can kind of get through it. But as soon as I get behind that bar and I'm there for like even half an hour, actually, like as soon as I get there and I count the till and I get myself a soda water and I'm like, oop, time for pouch. And so I'm gonna do nicotine over the weekend, and then I think Tuesday I'm gonna try and wean off. So wish me luck on that shit because that's gonna suck. But I'm gonna give it a try again. I ordered like 12 packs of gum off of Amazon a while back, so those are in the cupboard. I'm gonna just chew the fuck out of gum. I might have to chill out on the weed because sometimes I get a little stoned and then I'm like, ooh, I need nicotine now. So I think I'm gonna try and we'll go no nothing, just soda water, coffee, whatever, and then I'll just try and keep my hands busy, maybe do a little exercise or something. But that work in progress I'm always talking about. And yeah, my office has just been a fucking mess, so I brought a container in from the garage that had like camping gear and like inflatables in it. So I dumped all that shit out in the garage, brought it inside and just cleaned my office and just threw a bunch of shit in there, old jackets and cords. I still got all the aux cords and color cords that have just been like laying around because I move them from a junk box to another junk box to a drawer, and so I finally just threw them all in this container, and I'm going to shove that out in the garage, just get it away from me so that I don't feel so cluttered. Because that's a real thing when you're just cluttered and it's hard to think. And that's another reason I haven't done the podcast, because I've been trying to organize this house and it's like unorganizable. So I was like, I got to just get some shit in containers because that's what I do. I don't get rid of stuff. I just throw it in boxes. So I just need to get more boxes because I got it in my head that eventually I'm just going to fucking sell this house and move or something. And so I might as well be preemptive and just start putting stuff in containers now so that when I am ready someday, I can just throw it in a storage unit or something and go. Because this shit ain't working. Like, the job's fine, kind of keeping me afloat, but I'm going to have to start searching for something else. So I just packed a suitcase today. Not that I'm like going anywhere, but just to get my mind in that like thought process of we got to get the fuck out of here, dude. So 7 pairs of socks, 7 pairs of underwear, 7 shirts, freaking 3 pairs of my favorite pants and shorts. And then I threw the laptop in a bag, chargers, all that shit, toothbrush. Because eventually I want to just drive for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and get a hotel or something, and just stay somewhere that's not this fucking town. So that's what I'm going to work towards. And then maybe I can do the podcast from the road, just to go check out a new bar, like places I might want to work, and just like, I don't know, go find a fucking bowling alley, something. But I gotta get out of here. And that could be like the weather and stuff, where you just start feeling like depressed and you're like, what the fuck is this jail that I live in? I gotta get the fuck out of here. But I don't know, that's just what I'm feeling right now. So that's what I'm gonna work towards. The podcast is still a thing. It's always in the back of my head. I told like one buddy, this guy from work, I didn't like send him a link or anything, but I just told him that I'd do one. And this is when we were drinking, and he came over and we were just like doing man stuff. We fucking barbecued steaks and we're drinking beer and just doing man shit. But he's a fucking wild one. He's like military, a little taller than me, big dude. To me, he's a big ass dude. And but solid guy. He's chill. And when I was like, dude, I gotta quit drinking, he was all for it. He was like, fuck yeah, like you're a warrior, like da da da. Gave me this big old pep talk and stuff. Meanwhile, he's just drinking like every day, but whatever. But just the fact that he supported me, I was like, all right, you're cool in my book. I like you. We can still be friends. But I'm like, I gotta just be actively not drinking and then finding what I want to do with with my life. So that's it's always been kind of the plan, but you just get stuck in a rut. And you're just fucking up every week or just like killing time, which essentially is what I've been doing. This whole DUI thing, I've just been kind of killing time and then like I don't know, because it's not that bad because I can drive, but it's like I put it in my pickup. My pickup gets like 8 miles per gallon. It shakes on the highway. It's not the most travel friendly thing in the world. And then just looking at my car, like I just started it today, and she started up, still good. Let it run for a while, and then I like had my headphones on. I was tinkering around, and I think I had it running for like a half an hour. I took my headphones off, and I could hear the exhaust, and I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go turn that thing off." But trying to keep it charged and all that. So I don't know. I might go on a little trip because my buddy's been hitting me up. He wants to like travel, and I'm like, I can't fucking travel with this thing in my truck because I got to keep the truck running, got to keep the battery charged because if the battery dies, then it fucks up your um the computer in the thing or whatever. And now I'm like, I'm not trying to spend any more money getting that thing reset because it's like $200 a month. Like I was going over my finances, doing like looking at my mortgage, my electric bill, my phone bill, all that shit, and it's like I kind of would be good with my little part-time job, but then it's like that $200 kind of fucking hurts me. And the stocks or whatever, I'm trying to just leave shit. I got shit in crypto and some stocks because that's my retirement basically. So I'm like, I'm trying not to touch that. And so I'm like, let's just get through this shit, and then I won't have as many expenses. But just takes fucking time and idle hands, man. Because I'm just like, I feel just like locked in this house. And you can only play so many video games and watch so many episodes of House and watch fucking, I don't know, trying to throw a DVD in my PlayStation once in a while just to watch some old ass movie that I like. I just watched Out Cold the other day. It's like my one of my favorite. I mean, there's not that many snowboarding movies I feel like, but it's my favorite snowboarding movie. It's got fucking Zach Galifianakis in it, and that the goofy dude. He's in Waiting, the supervisor. He's just a fucking old kook, and he's hilarious in that movie. And soundtrack, solid soundtrack. Whatever. I don't know if you've never seen Out Cold, go watch Out Cold. Find it on. It's got to be on some streaming service or something out there. You might have to pay $3 for it, but it's worth every dollar. Fucking, it's a banger. A little goofy, but it's fucking it's good. And that gets me all hyped up to want to go snowboarding. So I might try and do a snowboarding trip, maybe stay in a hotel or something. I got that stupid 4-wheel drive, might as well fucking use it. I don't know. Plans, all these plans I like to make. No notes. I got no notes. Fucking whatever. I've just been existing and just trying to just be a sober guy and keep my house relatively clean. But when it comes down to it, I'm just like, this house is too fucking small. And if I can't travel and I'm stuck in this house, it's a fucking prison. Which I'm like, I kind of feel like I'm just a spoiled brat because I got my freaking gaming PC and my PS5 and music, and I could work out if I wanted, but I just don't freaking want to. And I don't know. It's like I got everything I need right here, and it's just not enough. I gotta go. So, gonna go work today. I switched to shift with another bartender, so I'm working on a Thursday, which, whatever, I don't even care. But it's like I need to work more or travel because I can't sit around anymore. I'm freaking over it. So, which is good that I feel the momentum that it's like the universe is kind of pushing me like, all right, you can't just kill yourself with alcohol. You need to get your body moving, figure out what you're going to do. So, I'm going to kind of grind this weekend, and then maybe I'll go for a drive this coming week. Maybe I can get my snowboarding shit together That's my church. I need to go to church on the mountain. Get me closer to God. Because like every other year, this is the first year that I like haven't had my shit together enough to go snowboarding. And then, but then that's another thing. Go snowboarding. I like to freaking that cold IPA after you're like did a couple runs. So I'm not gonna do that, but it's worth it to go and be like, I'm not drinking, but I'm gonna go. So I'll probably freaking pop a weed gummy and slide down the hill. Just because I need to just get out there, get that mountain air. So in due time. But first, I wanted to knock out a podcast because I haven't been doing it consistently. So I'd like to just get another episode up. Still doing it, trying to stay positive, trying to surround myself with more positive influences because you get down to the bar and it's just we're all just being hoodlums together and we're all just embracing each other and it's just toxic. So love those guys. They're good drinking buddies, but I'm like, I got to reevaluate who I'm hanging out with. So got some good friends around me and just trying to stay positive, be positive influence, have positive influences, and work. Got to make that paper. Also trying to organize my cash because when I was drinking, it's like, yeah, I go to work, I make some cash, I throw it in the drawer. All of a sudden, I just got all this I got ones and fives, and it's just like a mess. And I'm like, man, I need to shove that in the bank. I got to pay bills. But when you're like, fuck it. Then all of a sudden, you're all unorganized, and you're like, oh shit, I got to put money in the bank. So, and I like going into the bank and being a grown up and depositing money with the teller. They're funny too because they're kind of square in there, but like I'll go in there and I'm kind of like I kind of stick out like a green whatever, orange hat with a green bill, as Eminem says. But and I tell them I'm like, man, trying to get my shit together, trying to be more organized, and I'll tell them some of my shenanigans. And they're just like, oh man, wow. Like, yeah, they make for good stories, but then when you're the one living them and you're like throwing your life in the trash, it's like, yeah, it might be entertaining to you, but man, I'm a mess. So let's try and make some good sober good times. That's what I had some buddies come over the other day. Because my one buddy, he just got a DUI. And so he was like asking me about it and shit. And I'm like, here's kind of what to expect. This was my shit. I don't know. But you'll get through it. It's just funny to be like, because when I got mine, I was freaking out just like him. And I'm like calling the last person I know that got a DUI and talking to them. And it's like, you'll get through it, buddy. It fucking sucks, but you were obviously fucking up. And now you're getting checked. So he'll be all right. But it's a life lesson. Got to learn it and then try and be better. But man, when they let the chains off and you're all like done with your UAs and you can drink again, you got to be careful because that's what I did. So I was like, oh, I can drink again. Bah! And like the just going through my credit card and stuff, seeing how much money I spent at like this bar, that bar, eating because you're out, you don't got time to cook, you're busy drinking, so you got to get food, order food, and then it just fucking piles up. All of a sudden, you got $1,000 on your credit card that you're like, oh man, what did I do? Like nothing to show for it. So yes, we are rerouting. So hopefully I can get a little travel going next week. I'm gonna go grind, make some money, shove it in the bank, and yeah. But yeah, next thing, try and wean off the nicotine, which that's difficult, but it's like you get the alcohol out of your system out of for like 3 days or something, kind of start feeling better again, then you're like, okay, I don't need to drink, I'm chill. But the nicotine is a bitch. Because you think you're good that third day, and then that fourth day might be feeling a little foggy, a little on edge. And I don't know, I think maybe 5 days probably be all right. So if I can get to that fourth day and survive and not break and just chew the fuck out of some gum, I'll sleep all day if I have to. And yeah, so that's the next step. Try and get off the nicotine and get the fuck out of this house. Yeah. But hope you guys are surviving the winter. Stay safe. Don't drive unless you have to. Learn how to use chains. Buy an all-wheel drive car. Trade in your car. Get an all-wheel drive car. I don't know. You'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. We'll all figure it out. But yeah, stay positive. Go bowling. Learn how to do the spinny thing. That's what I want to do. I want to learn how to do the spinny thing better. I was doing it like the first frame, and then the second frame, I kind of started fucking it up because my wrist is weak. So, got to practice. Talking about practice. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Bartender's Anonymous Podcast signing off. Have a good week. Peace be with you. All that.